Join me for an outstanding conversation with the franchise director of Aira Fitness, Scott Hejna, who's also now a franchise owner and a multi-unit franchise owner. We discuss the mindset it takes to be a franchise owner. Number two, we discuss the importance of the first 90 days in creating the right habits to be successful in franchising. This is a conversation you don't want to miss. So make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment or two, and I'm happy to respond.
You.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So you were talking about obstacles of your second one. What did you face in the first one, and when did you start so I can get a time frame reference?
Absolutely. So, I've been in the franchise space. We've been in for about a year and a half now. Going quite well, right? Past that micro phase. And then, me breaking into actually being a franchisee and franchisor, um, it brings those unique challenges, right? So the second location, I can't be physically present all the time because I'm either traveling or I'm at the other gym. So the key is building trust, right? You got to trust that the systems work, that my team, right? Because it's all about teamwork. My team is going to follow those systems, which we've put in place. We've had in place, since circa 2018 when we opened up our first Aira Fitness as a corporate club, obviously since, circa
Mm-hmm.
circa last year and a half, 2023. But it's really implementing those systems and building trust, knowing that they're going to follow those systems. So being a multi-unit franchisee, franchisor, it's an exciting time for me because I can learn and grow because we want all of our franchisees to have multi-units in the future, right? Let's get the first one down pat first, but following the systems, you can do one, two, three, four, five.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Outstanding. What's the interval of your training with your team that's managing your locations as the franchisee,
Right.
and where do you stress the training with them?
So it's all in the systems. The beauty of the Air Fitness brand is we have what's called the Kartra account, hundreds and hundreds of videos, all your documents from sales, marketing, operations, scripts, and obviously social tools, right? As we know are so prevalent in the industry today. So we literally have weekly, because I have a team of three, and two other trainers too, but a managerial team of three at my second location. I physically manage the studio model here in Wonder Lake, Illinois, and I'm the one-stop shop, and that's the beauty of the private studio model is you can kind of do it all, and it makes it fun. Um, but again, following the systems, weekly check-ins, daily calls, and then we spend 1 hour every Saturday morning after we run our boot camps. We spend 1 hour, and I just do Q&A, right? I want them to express their positives, their negatives, what they took out of the week, um, and then we overview, right? And again, it all comes down to like prior to us getting on and filming this live, progress, not perfection, right? As long as we see growth patterns, growth patterns, growth patterns, that's how we can really develop the business because nothing's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The I'm putting together for franchisors and new franchisees, since I help people get into franchising.
Absolutely.
I'm putting together a framework for the first 90 days that you're in business, because in my opinion and in my experience of leading various
Amen.
organizations,
Yeah.
that first 90 days sets the tone, and it can either be
Amen.
positive or you're pushing that boulder uphill the whole way that you're in charge. So during your first 90 days, look back on it, and what were some of the key points that helped you, and what could you have done a little bit better?
And I love that bullet point, Luke, because you can call it a 90-day or 120 SWOT analysis, if you will, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you're the challenges, right? I know as now a franchisee, right? I've known the patterns. right? I know what we have to do, right? Sales, marketing, operations, and that customer centric focus. Once I think one of the key benefactors with this, and Andy Frisella is my mentor, 110%, right? I follow Andy's system. I've done 75 hard. I'm on 75 live now, but it's all about discipline, following the systems, grit, fortitude, and that's what we need to implement soon. Like you mentioned, if we're sinking or swimming, right? I plan to swim, right? And my team will plan to swim because this won't be my first, second. I will have multi units, 110%. But that first 90 days, you have to focus on the discipline, following the systems. Most importantly, in my opinion, doing the things you don't want to do, in my opinion, right? Meaning, if we've got to make 100 phone calls that day to generate more leads, right? Right? Leads, appointment, sales. That's what it's all about. The things that we don't want to do. At the end of the day, I love personal training. I love small group training. I love HIIT. I love boot camps. I love training all my athletes from the pro level down to the youngsters. I love that stuff. That's not even work for me, right? But it's getting down to the grit and doing the things that we probably don't want to do on a daily basis, but it has to be done. That's my opinion.
Mm,
And focused on that SWOT analysis, right? There's going to be strengths, there's going to be weaknesses. How can we overcome those objections?
yeah, that's great. What I hear, explain the discipline part a little bit more because I hear a little bit of habits coming into there also. So
Creating
tell
habits.
tell me about your discipline factor.
I love it. So I feel discipline comes into structure and routine, right? You have to be disciplined. Again, like I stressed, the things that you probably don't want to wake up and do, right? You probably really don't want to do it. But, especially in the wellness space and the franchisees, and franchisors direct, right? Routine, schedule, structure, that's where discipline comes into play. Okay. For instance, my alarm clock goes off at 3:45 every morning, right? I get to bed at XYZ. I try to make it 10 o'clock. Is that the perfect sleep pattern? No. But does it work for me? Yes. Right. And then I know exactly what I'm going to do throughout the day, whether it's making the calls, right? Whether it's managing my team. I still love, like I said, I still love training and getting in the grind and doing that, right? But then we got to we got to focus on marketing. We got to focus on sales. We got to focus on all these things. So the discipline component is really just that routine, structure, schedule. That's my personal opinion. I know it's worked for me in the past. It's worked for a lot of my team. Mind you, Luke, I believe you know that I've worked with the likes of Life Fitness and Hammer Strength and some of the major players. Blessed to work with Brian Green over at Active and Advantage Fitness Products. And it's just a lifelong tutelage of people showing me the right way. And now at 42 years young, I just try to apply some of those concepts because I'm always reading, learning, podcasting, and applying those skills too. But having that skill set for discipline is absolutely crucial and vital.
Hmm. And earlier you mentioned you have a mentor that you follow and you're actively involved with. Tell me about the role that they've played, that person's played in helping you in development.
Absolutely. So, I have a couple key mentors, right? Andy Frisella is obviously at the highest scale ever. Um, that you can speak of, in my opinion. But the Tony Robbins of the world, Zig Ziglar's, gentlemen like that. But Andy Frisella is something I physically do. If nobody's tried the 75 hard program, it's mental toughness. It's not a fitness challenge, and that's what gets me. Some of the what I have in the back wall here, right? Dedication, motivation, focus, no excuses, turn them off, right? But what he does is he puts me in that mental mind frame every single morning, 4:15, it pops on, right? One of his thousands of podcasts, right? And it could be relevant to what I'm going through, the battles that I need to overcome. And that's what that personally does for me. The fitness side of it, the 75 hard, drinking your gallon of water, 45-minute indoor, 45-minute outdoor, 10 pages of nonfiction. I choose the Bible, scripture. And selfies, right? Not selfies that we have to throw out and throw it on social media. It's personal for personal growth. And that just helps me succeed every day because my day starts at 5 a.m., but I can get all that in by 5 a.m. Well, I'll be honest, 5:30. Um, enough time for a quick shower, and then clients come in. So it just puts me in the right mental perspective because the mental component to this, I think, is key for franchisee, franchisor, or any business trying to be successful.
Hmm. Putting that first franchise that your first effort into franchising as the franchisee, what were a couple of the key objectives that you hit in the first 90 days that are now helping you succeed even quicker afterwards?
Um, and I love that, right? Franchises are franchises for a reason, right? It's technically you're a startup, but there's systems in play, right? So laser focused on following from sales, marketing, operations, and really educating yourself because yeah, I'm working with franchisees and I'm the franchisor. I know the system quite well, but I got laser focused opening up my first, well, not even opening up, right? Being a franchisee. Um, Laser focus and that customer centric focus, I can't stress enough for everybody um, listening and taking your tutelage, Luke. Having that customer centric focus, there's a point our ad spend dollar is going to be there for social marketing, yes, but I'll be honest, it doesn't really apply for me because I had that customer centric focus on the get go. It might take us some more time in those, let's say, first 90, 120 days, because you're going to have to spend more time with your clientele, getting personal, right? Um, making it a solution sale, not just, hey, we need some numbers here, right? We're actually problem solving. So having that customer centric focus, obviously laser focused on your marketing. Everybody's marketing. If you're not marketing, you're dead in the water, right? But I can't stress enough, especially in those first 90 days, um, if you don't have a customer centric focus, that bad name could come out there, and um, people are going to have negative thoughts in their head regardless, right?
Hmm.
But it's the positive people that are going to make or break um, your business, especially in the small markets, right? Word of mouth goes quick. So I've just been laser focused on that, but obviously I can't stress enough. Franchises are franchises for a reason. It's a system.
Well, and
Follow it.
you hit on my next question because you were saying small markets.
Yeah,
Franchising is all about taking a national brand name and bringing it down into a community focused, value added,
yeah,
impactful
yeah.
business in that community. Tell me some success stories in your communities.
This is so Luke. We didn't game plan for this, right? But I love this, right?
You led me right into that question. I didn't even have it written down in my notes.
And this is what I love about it. So I'll give you a perfect for instance. So my Wonder Lake facility here in lovely Northwest Illinois is only a population of 5,547. Okay, and I do my demographic numbers. Now the beauty of it is the growth factor is exponential here. But what we've done in since February of this year is above and beyond my wildest dreams. What I thought that we could get done here. But it's really building a community, a tribe of speaks. For instance, Chamber of Commerce, some people love it, some people don't. I absolutely love it. Getting out in the community, working with your municipalities, police, fire, the village, right? I'm not a trustee yet, but I will be. Um, but it's really getting out there, right? Because you can only do so much internally in small markets. But once you can impact the community, you're that brand. I don't care what type of franchise it is. I don't care if you're a smoothie shop, if whatever you're doing, right? Um, Jersey Mike's, I don't know, whatever, right? In a small market, you're going to be that person. You're going to be that go-to. People are going to talk about you, right? As long as you have that, I can't stress it enough. That customer-centric focus. If you're focused just on your number alone in a small market, you're sinking. So that's what I do. That's what I do with some of my free time. I'm out there engaging the community at the Chamber of Commerce events, with, again, the police, fire, the village. And the word spreads, and one of my best, one of my favorite, I shouldn't say best. It's not hard to be nice. Plus it's free.
Absolutely.
That's just my thought and theory in the small market.
Absolutely. Scott, I appreciate everything today. What haven't I asked you that you want to talk about?
Uh, you know, just a true gratitude for you, Luke, and what you do, right? Helping franchisees, because people get excited, um, to get into a franchise, to break in the market. They're super excited, and then they don't have, sometimes they don't have that clear direction, right? And these are things that I love to do, because if we can help others, in turn, we're helping ourselves. Um, Take the advice, listen, learn. Any Q&As, I assume, Luke, that you do that with all your family, with what you do. But it's not going to be like, oh, we're in a franchise now, we're going to make XYZ, right? That's not reality. It's grit, fortitude, um, grind, and passion, along with that customer centric focus, and you will succeed.
Well, you just led me into another question. Put on your franchise development hat. How do you
Yep.
find those people? How do you know that the people you're bringing in to start up Aira Fitness have that personality to be able to do it? Because not everybody is meant to be a business owner.
110%, right? To be a true entrepreneur, it takes all of that, right? So our phases, as a franchise developer, um, we go the extra mile here at Aira, right? We will sit down with them, and it's, concept to completion with everybody. And if we don't feel it's a good fit, we're not just going to sell a franchise to sell a franchise, right? You have to have the passion. Do you have to be in the fitness wellness space? Do you have to be a master certified trainer? Absolutely not. But if you don't have a passion in the wellness space, or any franchise for that matter, if you don't have a passion for it, we might think about a different franchise, because let's be honest, there's a lot of franchises out there, right? But especially in the wellness space, if you have that passion, that drive, that fortitude, that grit, we can teach you the systems, right? And that's what separates us, because we go the extra mile. I'm on the phone with my franchisees literally I've got calls from 6 a.m., right, all the way to, I try to get to bed about 10:30 p.m. every night, but all the way up to 10 p.m., whether it's, East Coast, Central, or West Coast time, right? We can delegate that accordingly. But people have questions, and we have to be the solution solvers as the franchisor.
Absolutely. Scott, thanks for your time today. Man, I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. And thank you all for watching this episode of The Successful Franchisees. It was an impromptu session, but it was extremely impactful nonetheless. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you so much.